Hey, we're live. I'm gonna try to update all my things here and post a couple links to Twitter while I'm at it, but I'll just talk through what's going on. So, okay, let's see. Periscope's up. Don't worry, Milo's by my feet already, being Milo. Let's see. I'm just in another window right now. Let's see, going on here. Sure, that'll work. Okay, so part 2 of yesterday. So I got stuck yesterday after spilling tea on myself a couple times. I got stuck with trying to remove all the various ts-loader, ts-jest, tsc, and a bunch of other things in order to make Build Tracker work a little bit faster and have a few more options in it in terms of what we do in the future. Babel is just a lot more powerful, and frankly, it's a lot faster than going through all of the various TypeScript tools. So, hey Milo, you wanna come in? Here's Milo. Hey buddy, say hi, but don't be up on the desk because you're kind of annoying. TypeScript is frankly just kind of slow and frustrates me a lot in that aspect. I really prefer flow or flow type, however you know it, in the sense that it's way faster, it's way more unobtrusive. It sits and runs a server in the background. And so it's essentially like always in watch mode, but it's not reporting at you until you actually like say something or you ask it to do anything. So from that sense, it's just way better. It doesn't take up a bunch of resources. It actually runs one flow worker per CPU core that you have. So it just makes it a little bit nicer, a little bit faster, and keeps everything in cache. Whereas TypeScript, it's got to like redo everything every time that you want to run it, which is super annoying. Can I turn that off? I don't know what's going on here. I'm just going to close that tab. It looks like we're online running everywhere. Twitch, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I should post links here for everybody if they want to jump in. So that's the basic idea of what I'm going to do today is finish up what was happening yesterday. So yesterday got to a point where I could definitely build with Babel. The problem was that the paths that I was building with were just all confused because Babel wants to build from the root directory of the repo so that it can figure out the monorepo configuration with the different workspace configs for each workspace. And so otherwise, if you try to build from an individual folder within the workspace, it kind of complains about, or it basically just doesn't figure it out. It doesn't figure out where you want things to go. It doesn't find your Babel RC correctly. It doesn't go upwards. So I think I've figured that out. I'm just posting a couple links here. Where's my YouTube channel? Let's see, live streaming. Is this the one? Oh, shoot. That was not what I wanted. Come on, YouTube. Just about there. Hold on one second. Gotta look up YouTube. Here we go. This is the one I want. I still don't have enough followers on YouTube to be able to get a shorter URL that I can actually remember. So still have to look it up every time. And YouTube is loading very slowly right now, probably because I'm streaming. Oh, here's the URL. Hey, come on. There we go. Let's fix this URL. Okay, I have posted that to Twitter. Hopefully some of y'all are joining now. Looks like we've got at least one person hanging out from over on Twitch. Okay, so back over to the code. So here is where I ended up. So yesterday was having an issue. Let me see if I can scroll back up. I was digging into this a little bit this morning because I wanted to actually look like I know what I'm talking about. This is where we were yesterday. So I thought running jest would be the simplest way to figure out if my configuration is all set up correctly. Turns out it was not the easiest way. And I kept getting this error, which essentially tells me that Babel is not loading the configuration correctly. So I was using Typescript private public identifiers for class properties and class methods. And I wanted to change them to the actual ECMAScript proposal, which changes private to have this little hash before it. And it was saying that, I don't understand unexpected token, expected a semicolon. It didn't really know what was going on here. So something was definitely wrong. Turns out, once I updated TypeScript and Jest, things started looking a little bit better, which also informed me that I was doing things very poorly. So with the ECMAScript proposal for, let's see if I can pull that up. Babel proposal private, there it is. Private methods. With the proposal, so you've got to use the hash before it, which makes using the underscore completely unnecessary. It's essentially a replacement for the underscore. So I'm referencing everything incorrectly by saying this dot underscore, where I should be using the hash symbol there. So the first thing I'm going to do now is try to replace everywhere that I'm doing that. So first off, I can go anywhere that I have this. Let's just do a find for it quick. Yeah, so anywhere I've got that, a private variable like that, I actually want to replace it with just that. So we'll replace all of those. Let's save that. And everything's going to be like run through prettier at this point. So while we wait for that, I'm going to pour some tea and I'm going to show you all my really cool mug. And it's definitely going to be on brand for me. Let's switch over to the video. It says, because cats. Because, cats. That's why. So I thought that was slightly appropriate for, me. Oh, that's way too hot. I am not going to drink that yet. Oh, still very slow at doing anything. Maybe if I close some other tabs that I'm running over here. And also, I don't know if Fernando Montoya is around. He asked on Twitter about a half hour ago when I posted that I'm going to be working on this, why moving to Babel. And again, just to kind of reiterate that, it's because TypeScript is even moving more towards using Babel. So TypeScript, writing your own parser and compiler is really hard. And Babel has done it well and done it right, and it seems to be the way that everything is moving for the future. So like ts-lint is gone in favor of ESLint, which ESLint uses Babel under the hood in order to parse things. So it frankly just makes sense to go that direction. So now that I've got that changed, I'm going to look for anywhere that I do this dot underscore and make sure I change all of those to this dot hash. I'm just kind of check these really lightly and replace all of those. 179 in 9 files. Those look like the same files that I already did. You know what though? I'm not going to do this one because that is the React Native typings that we're using. I'm going to save those few files. Ooh. Oh, good. Milo is taking a nap over there in his little tower. Okay. Saved? Nope, not saved yet. So while that's reformatting all those things, I'm going to run just that test again, see what we come up with. This last time it kind of worked, kind of didn't. There were a few things that were wrong. So we may also need to update some of this some of these snapshots that we're using, the build delta kind of decides what it's doing. I lost it again. There we are. Let me quit some apps here. Hold on one second. What's going on? There we go. Oh, even this is running slowly. Okay, let me close a bunch of these. Closing all the files. Okay. Failed. Okay, this dot hash. Private name faux artifact size is not defined. So let's open that build delta file. Oh, get underscore. So we missed replacing those. I think this might have been the only one that was a private getter. There we go. Let's run that one more time. Building, running tests. Okay. Pull that together. So the next steps, once hopefully these tests are passing, I want to re-verify that the app is building with Webpack correctly, which it should. All right. Okay. So that is passing. That still takes way too long. It seems like that setup is comparator. That setup is really what's taking, or the parsing is what's taking so long. Perhaps I did clear out just cache a couple times, so hopefully once it gets a chance to cache everything for the first time, should work things a little bit faster in the future here. Okay, yeah, those are running a little bit faster. At least some of them are. It's built out the. Okay, cool. Things are working there. So what I want to do is say yarn learn run build scope. I'm still not a huge fan of Lerna. I think the ergonomics of it are a little bit weird. Build tracker app. Come back. It doesn't quite figure out workspaces the way that you typically want it to. I'm gonna have to run ESLint again across some of these things. Build delta. Seems it was complaining about something here. And you know, I actually like there were some differing of opinions that people had on using the hash character as denoting private. Like they wanted TypeScript's way of saying, you know, private, but there's no delineation then when you're referencing it in code that this is a private. So it makes it just a little bit easier and quicker to understand, which is funny why I didn't realize that in the first place, why that was failing. But so basically it kind of calls it out. It makes it really obvious that I'm using privates all over the place. So I like it. But let's see, yarn run build. Okay, so let's jump back into there. Get that Webpack build working. Should probably figure out why lint is failing on this. Probably need an ESLint config for the private variable classes and everything. Let's see. Oh, Webpack. Oh, right. Haha. I need to run that through yarn or npm so I can find it. Let's do that. Let's see. Maybe the next thing I should do is figure out lint. So while that's trying to build, let me pull up this lint proposal private methods. Still running. Let's see what this says. May just need to update Babel ESLint, which is probably the issue. Okay, but first let's look at this. This looks like a path issue again. Let's do ESLint first. I don't want to deal with path issues. They're really annoying. So let's double check what version of Babel ESLint we're using. Let me look at my ESLint config here. Oh, we're still using the Typescript ESLint parser. So that's going to be the problem. We're going to want Babel ESLint here. And so I'm going to need to add that. Let's find out what version that's at. Babel ESLint. Okay, so we don't have Babel ESLint yet. Babel ESLint is 10. We'll just go with, oh, that said 11, didn't it? Ooh, that may be problematic. Let's see if dev, yes, I don't care about workspaces. Babel ESLint. Let me just double check everything here. Go off and see what the 11, if 11 is even available, what the changelog looks like. We are still on 10, 11 beta. Babel ESLint. Read from. Let's hold off on that. I would think that we don't need to go on a beta yet. Babel ESLint. Over here, so we've got Babel ESLint as our parser. Prettier TypeScript. What is the TypeScript ESLint plugin? It's probably this one. What does the actual plugin do here? We may not need that plugin at all, although that may be what, I think that's what tells us our rules against everything. So we're installing that. What rules do you have? Let's see. Babel does now support parsing. So we might not be able to do some of the type rules, which may be just fine. Some of these will probably still work. So yeah, and this is another one of those things where it's like TypeScript is trying to align with Babel ESLint. So in reality, long term, we're probably moving towards Babel ESLint. Currently not intended to be used together. So I may have to remove that before I move on here. So let's try lint. It's funny because Flow allows us to do that. Actually, I may just have to keep using TypeScript ESLint. Now that I think of it, can this reference my Babel config? because that may be problematic. Let's find out. Okay. Missing accessibility modifier. Yeah, that's all the public-private stuff. So let's, first off, let's try removing all these. But let's see if any of these actually work. Did I move things here? I think I actually wanted to undo a change here. This would be preset Typescript. I don't know that where am I? I don't know that the preset TypeScript actually includes Babel preset TypeScript. I don't know that it actually includes syntax, which would tell Babel about all the different things. Let's see. It's just a transform. It looks like it's all it's really providing here. Let's see what it has in the source. Oh wow, it's a lot more than I expected it to be. Still going. Oh, that's in the wrong spot. That's why. Hey, ESLint, let's go faster and just do like a single file. That's another one of my complaints with ESLint is that every time you run it, it spiders the entire import map of all of your files and builds essentially a tree, an import map of everything, and then it checks modified time of the files. It only checks modified time. It doesn't actually check the hash of the contents of the files. So it's somewhat unsafe in terms of when you're running with caching, and it doesn't. Even with cache, it's still pretty slow because it has to spider every file and check every modified time before it can do it again. So it's like IO bound on your, or like disk read write bound, which is really, really frustrating here. I'm just trying to run a single file and it's having issues. Oh, I could have just done this. Oh, wait, no, that's what that, and I wonder if TypeScript ESLint parser has been updated since I started using it. What version are we at? .33. Oh my gosh, what is happening here? Okay, so we're at, wow. Okay, so it's having some issues. I think we're gonna have to keep using TypeScript ESLint parser. Let's remove Babel ESLint. Typescript -ESLint parser. Plugin. Let's upgrade both of those to the latest version that we can get. Oops, I hit buttons. Building. This is today I'm just full of peeves and annoyances. So this is another one of them. Oh, I don't know what that D was. All of these warnings about peer dependencies being incorrect. It's like not a thing that I can fix without going through every single one of these dependencies and fixing all of their dependencies and their peer dependencies and all of the various things there. It's super, super annoying, and seems like one of those things that Yarn should just not deal with, or not even tell me about, because frankly, it just doesn't matter. Come on, move down. It's just pointless. There we go. We're moving. And it's like warning fatigue, or you get logging fatigue of people just start to ignore it. So if there were actually an issue here, we wouldn't really know, and we wouldn't really think to look at these warnings. And again, that's one of those things that I've been trying to work with on Build Tracker, is to reduce the amount of warning fatigue that you end up seeing, to just avoid people just completely giving up and not caring if there's an issue on something. So that's for another day, getting back to the GitHub Actions that I've been building and try to make it. Actually, I think I did do some of that. Let's see if we can run lint again. Do a single one there. Babel Jess is there. Just trying to run a single file, but of course ESLint is reading everything out. I'm gonna just sing to myself, or do to myself. Do. Oh wow, why is it so failing? Let's give what's the way to debug ESLint? ESLint debug. There's a flag that you pass in. I think it might be a oh, it's actually just debug. Let's see what's happening here. Because we're really just supposed to be linting a single file, but it's having a ton of issues. Loading rules. It's linting everything. So the file enumerator, like it's finding markdown files. Let's see if ESLint, what was the command that it actually was running? Come back here. That's the other complaint here. Typescript again. I have to provide, oh, because here we go. I can't actually do this correctly. So lint command. Here we go. Yarn ESLint. Let's see, source. It's super annoying. So you have to provide all these extra extensions to ESLint. You can't do it as part of the config, as far as I know. Let's see, ESLint config extensions, which I think you have to provide it as a command line flag. Let's see. Target files are star.js or any of the overrides. If you specify, so like you can't tell it in the config. You have to pass that into the command line. Okay, missing accessibility modifier. So I'm going to get rid of the accessibility modifier rule. Explicit member accessibility, which one's also just kind of pointless. Try that again. So that TypeScript ESLint explicit accessibility or explicit member accessibility should probably be updated. Let's actually find out. TypeScript ESLint. Let's find rules. I wonder if there's a rule for using the might be at this. Using the new syntax. There may be one. Okay, so that time it passed. So I'm just gonna run across everything quick. Did it not? Did it just forward me to this page? I think it did. Cool. Linting? No. What is this? I want to run ESLint plugin. No, just tell me where the rules are. Plugin. Let's see if this gets me to it. I don't want getting started docs. I want list of rules, please. Here we go. Member accessibility. Thank you. That was so nice of you. Oh my God, does this repo not even exist anymore? There it is. So it's somewhere in here. Cool. Plugin? Rules, there we go. Explicit member accessibility. Has been updated for 4 months. It's probably not what I want. Yeah, this isn't, looks like it has been updated. To use the new syntax at all, scroll through quick. So I'm probably gonna need to remove any of the public modifiers. So let me see, public. Oh, looks like I already did. Do I have any private? Okay, protected. Okay, cool. I don't have any of those. I'm gonna switch this back to preset TypeScript while that's running and caching all the things. And let's see, so we can get rid of that rule. So that's a big one. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna need to do is ensure that each workspace can build properly. So that one's a little tougher. The one way to do that is to manually in every one of these set the, do like cd ... like that, and have all of this set up every time, and it's going to be the exact same thing every time, which is super annoying. So I think what I'm going to do is try to start, maybe for now we'll do that, and I can circle back as a separate pass to fix all those. So I actually moved this ignore that shouldn't be necessary. I put that into the Babel config. I can bring that up. I moved that into the Babel config. It actually has a that in it now. Although I need to specify. Oh, here, let's do this. Let me search everywhere I'm using this. Let's see. Oh, package.json. Okay, so everywhere that appears, I want to replace that with node and production. You know, I'm probably going to want to use cross-env. Do I have my cross-env? Cross-env is a tool that helps me, or that helps everybody be able to set environment variables no matter what their environment is. So Windows, Linux, Mac, whatever you're using. Just makes it a little bit simpler. And avoids issues. So across platforms. So instead of node env, we say cross-env. Oh wow, same thing, cross-env. Oops, no, I clicked a thing I didn't want to click. So I'm probably gonna have to add that. Yep, yarn add dev cross-env. So we just say cross-env node env production. Cool. Oh, I did it again. I keep clicking on that same thing. So we'll say cross-env like that everywhere. 11 files. Go ahead and save those. Always installing dependencies. It would be great if things didn't need to rebuild every time I add something. There's some weird reason. It would be great if that could get fixed one day. Again, I'm still back on Yarn 1. Yarn 2 still does not, or Berry, whatever you want to call it, still, as far as I know, doesn't work with some of the dependencies that I have. So kind of stuck. If it does work, somebody please let me know. So it seems like it would be faster to deal with. Seems like a great way to move forward. Just one of those things where I wish it would be easier to work with. Okay. Now, oh, I needed to switch the directory as well. CD. Okay, so we're gonna run build scope at build tracker. We'll just run one comparator. I wonder if I ran that too soon. Oh, you know what? That's going to cause issues because the path is going to build to a different place that I don't want it to. Oh, no. So I do really want to build a script to do this because it's just super annoying. Oh, wow. Buff type is not defined. What? Typescript. Yeah. Oof. Maybe instead of that, I can say, where is the config? Babel help. Let's see. Config file, that's what I want. Config file equals. Oh, maybe I can just say root mode, the project root resolution mode, root mode equals upward. Oop. Oh, there's an actual .babel ignore. Oh, my terminal's funny. When I'm holding it down, the option key, it likes to do that. Another one of those things that I just don't care to try and figure out. It doesn't bother me that much, but it's still confusing. Okay. Let's see. Did it build to the right place? Hello? Us. Okay. Oh, you know what I should do is RF source comparator. This. First, let's delete that. I could have run clean there, but I didn't. Build it again. Build that one more time. And then there's still going to be a bit more that I have to do because there are some places where I use ts node, and I'm going to want to use Babel node. So open source comparator. Let's see what we got here. Dist. That's exactly what I want. Let's see. Open that up here. Oh, it did not compile those into what I want. Oh, I'm compiling to module. So this is where, again, I probably want to make a build script for these because while modules are great, not everywhere can use that. And I'm going to need to build the common.js as well and define where modules are and where common.js is, which is also probably going to mess with TypeScript. Oh, I friggin' hate TypeScript. Because right now, oh, we have types. So I'm gonna need to build the types. So main, this module is here. I think I'm gonna wanna change where the module points to. That may mess with TypeScript again. Oh, what do you say we just rip TypeScript out? This is really frustrating. But that build was pretty fast. Let's see what happens when I run. I'm going to run TSC in here. Oh, I want to run that with, not with no emit. What? Hey, no. Am I looking at the wrong one? I am looking at the wrong one. That's API errors package. See if TSC tells us how long it takes. So this one ran 18.9 seconds. And again, I'm running a lot of other stuff on my computer right now with the streaming software, so does run a little bit slower no matter what. Good job, TypeScript. Failed. TypeScript doesn't know about the privates apparently. Oh. Let's see what happens when I run it with time, even with the errors. How long does it take? 13 seconds total. So that's a little bit faster, but it also didn't do anything because it didn't actually finish running. So I guess I could, you know what I could do is stash all this or make a branch and put it on there. B rm Typescript. Oh, don't yarn install. Just don't do that. You're already installed. Let's just quick do that. This may take a while because I'm gonna have to reinstall all the yarn dependencies when I move between branches. Please don't rebuild everything. Who likes waiting? What should we look up on the internet while we do that? So it's actually, let's reload that. Don't need that. What I was gonna say is the issue with the main, the module, etc., is something that we actually encountered at Twitter with our web monorepo, where we just have, it's all JavaScript, it very much like the build tracker monorepo, only it doesn't use TypeScript, it uses Flow. But it has a similar issue in that the module code that we build, we do want to strip out all the flow types. So we want to make it as like minimal new ES proposals, etc., as possible, and make it just consumable as an ES module. So we actually do a whole rigmarole with building and publishing where when we build, we spider each one of the workspaces that we've got. So these are all the workspaces in build tracker, and build them to the dist directory. Then we copy this package JSON and modify it, or copy it to the dist directory. So it'd be dist/package.json. Then we modify the main and the module paths to be relative to that location. And then we remove a bunch of things, like we don't need the files declaration there because we're going to include everything in that directory. And then in order to publish, the script for publishing CDs into the dist directory and publishes that instead of anything else. So it's a little bit safer. It allows us to ensure that, you know, what we're looking at is better. It does not work with Lerna because Lerna has to write this git head here to every one of those. Super annoying. I'd love to get rid of Lerna too. CD source comparator. Let's see how long build takes here. This will be the real test on whether or not all this work is worth it. Sometimes, oh wow, it's actually super fast. It may be that all this work that I've been doing for the last couple of days is totally not worth it. I still want to get rid of ts-jest. It just seems unnecessary. And I do want to move forward with some of the newer ES proposals and things. But I have to wait for TypeScript to get on them. I would also like to get rid of those stupid .ts extensions and just build with Babel. It's just so much more elegant and easier to I would actually call this easier to configure than all these tsconfig JSON files, which, you know, what does it mean to do all of this stuff where I have to, what were the things that were confusing me? Like, what is the synthetic default imports? What are declarations? What are check.js? I have to tell it to use JSX React. I don't know what that means even. Resolving JSON modules, like this is still only like a subset of the compiler options that are available in there. And then on top of that, every single one of these workspaces needs its own tsconfig, and it has to extend the root one, like without exception. It has to be there in order to run TypeScript in each one of those workspaces. So again, super annoying. But the key is that I did make things kind of work. So I actually want to see what happens when I put up a pull request there. I'll do like a work in progress pull request and throw it up onto GitHub and see how many things totally break. It's going to be a lot, and that's okay. What are we doing here? Why'd that come up? Waiting. Always waiting. Come on. One of these days I'm just going to give up and never do this again. This is really the argument for the Yarn PNP or plug and play. Let's see what Yarn tells us. This is Yarn 2.x. Let's see if they still have a list of things that don't work. Intro, installation. Set version, let's see. They used to have a list of things that did not work. Features, what is a manifest? Okay, here we go. Caveats. Compatibility table, here we go. List of common front-end tools, now supporting it. Okay, so enabled by, okay. So ESLint does, Babel does, Prettier does Webpack. So Flow, important tools. So Flow, this is a big one for me. And many of my other projects that it just doesn't work because there's no Flow support. Oh, Webpack needs PNP Webpack plugin. I won't implement it. Cool. That sucks. So basically, it's just not going to happen. Cool. Cool. Yeah, so that's a big blocker for me on most of my projects. Is Flow support. Okay, here we go. Let's just push this up, see what happens when we create a work in progress pull request. Dude. There we go. Draft. Oh, what the heck? Let's see. Jor place ts with Babel. I'll fill that in later. Draft pull requests. That's probably where I'm going to leave it for today. I want to do other things. I've been relaxing, taking a few days off from work. Today's my last day, not working for a while. So tomorrow I'm going to be in the office, well, this office, and doing my normal day-to-day stuff for Twitter, no idea what that is. I've been doing a good job of not even reading my email, so hopefully hopefully there aren't too many emails that I have to look out for. Let's see. This is probably gonna fail horribly. I don't think I ever ran type checking. Where is it? Come on. Hey, where'd you go? Yarn tsc. So I'd like to get down to just one TypeScript config as well, because there's a different config for tests than there is for production building, which is super weird. I have to tell it which one it uses. Let's put these side by side. See who finishes faster. GitHub is still installing dependencies. That's what I mean about TypeScript being slow. With Flow, it should have been running in the background, would have had a worker, and would be done by now. Error. Nice. Private identifiers only valid. What? And this is again, like, what do you mean targeting ECMAScript 2015 and higher? What do you want me to do with that? It's probably a thing in the ts config. Target ES5. So I guess this is be ES 2015. Do I have to do that here too? No? Okay. So I'm probably gonna have to rerun this. Oh, it hasn't even finished yet. But then I have like lib, what is lib, esnext, and dom? I assume this is building target, and that's where I love the Babel preset end, where I just saw, hey, just build for whatever node I'm using. I don't need to know what ES 2015 is. Ugh, this is probably not even gonna finish. Anybody want to make any bets on how long until it does? What other things failed? Test failed, but lint did not, and build did not. So that's neat. What did test fail on? Invalid variable props. Is that the only test? Oh, a couple. Let me see what these are. Reference error. Just.mock is not. It is not. Oh, interesting. Defining the interface inside of the mock makes it confuse. What? But it's inside of the mock. So would I have to make this mock props? I wonder if that makes it work. Oh, wow. Thanks, TypeScript. A method cannot be named with a private identifier. Why not? It's a private method. What? Yep, okay. I'm probably going to give up on this because this seems like a pain in the butt. But this does not change my frustrations with TypeScript. The amount of back and forth that a contributor, Oliver, and I went with to try and figure out building the types to the right place, but still having the local dev process use the code correctly. So like if this file exists when you run like the dev server, it's going to use that. So you have to make sure it's deleted correctly. But then there's another issue where some places when you're running like is it the demo? No, I think it's the, when you're running these items, like an actual dev server with one of these, you have to build, like API errors needs to be built here first. So we need to make sure we run build before we actually run the server. So it's a whole thing. So essentially what I'm saying is I'm giving up. I'm not going to make this change. It's a huge waste of my time and I have better things to deal with. If anybody out there has more experience than me, I'd love to see what it looks like and if we can make it a little bit more seamless and without like all these different ts-jest, ts-loader, ts-c, ts-node, and just use Babel for everything. Because again, TypeScript kind of uses Babel under the hood as far as I understand. Like ESLint is still going to fall back on Babel under the hood. Jest is still going to fall back on Babel. So it's like, it's this extra thing on top of everything. And you need to configure all the right incantations for it. Just more familiar with Babel. So that's where we're at. I'm going to give up and just kind of let this be what it is. Check out what is it? RM branch, I think, is my shortcut here. So here's where we give up and go back here. And close. So that's it. That's all we got for today. I do have other things that actually need to get fixed here. Oh, do we have other pull requests? I need to finish the build tracker action. I think it actually did work correctly. I don't know if I finished that or not. Build tracker, where's the build tracker action? Build tracker action, here we go. I don't think I did. Nope, 2 months ago. Okay, so we have two things that were in progress there. So another time I'll finish that. So no one actually wanted to review this. Maybe I'll ping Paul Irish again on that. Did a few things to hide errors, warnings, etc. The other thing that I was in progress on was making it work for the master branch. So we need to, it would be great if you could just use the GitHub action and not have to configure the CLI yourself in your GitHub action configuration files. So maybe next time, hopefully soon, probably next week will be the next time I stream. I've got a bit going on this weekend. So yeah, until next time, hope this was fun. It was fun for me to give up on something and go through all that. So again, till